Creativity. It is an addiction. Man, you'll lay awake at night. It drives you crazy in the middle of your workday. People want your creativity. Oh, we can't survive unless we have you, and you bring this to us. I get it, man. I get it. But during these days of recovery, the post days of COVID-19, your creativity has got to collaborate with my creativity, who's going to collaborate with somebody else. We need to bring our creative energy and sources together to get everything moving forward again. Let's rely on this thing that we say, hey, it's an addiction. But let's turn it into a positive, okay? Unplug, because we will always say yes to creativity. Totally uncut, because we all make mistakes. Turn it into something more than a positive. Turn it into a tool. This is Arrow Unplugged. I was blessed with the opportunity to spend some time with American Ninja, the champion from last season, Daniel Gill, yesterday. Man, what a conversation we got into about building up the mind, body, and soul, especially the body, because the body takes so many different hits. And how do you repair things when you've been broken down so often? And it was very interesting for him to explain that he didn't just go to the TV show American Ninja and win it one season. It actually required 7 seasons for him to be there. And you sit back as a viewer of the show, a fan and a follower, and you go, oh, man, how long has this journey been underway? And to find that victory, what was the payoff, first of all? And secondly, what was the reason for the challenge, the change, the beating up, the acceptance of what was taking place, and the layout of how it was played out? Hey, it's Arrow. This is The Choice. This is what I was writing while the sun was waking up on a brilliant new day. And today we're reading from June 10th, 2021. We're going to get into a really serious subject here, and I hope I have your attention the entire way, because what was put down on paper this morning is pretty deep. But I'm going to really open up and try to explain it in very common ways so that you yourself can look at the journey that you've been on and see that there is a victory on the way, but there's something that has to be required before you get there, and that is challenge and change. And to accept it, and not to always be beat up by it, to be present in your place of now. The laying out of a new day. Something as simple as that. The laying out of a new day. Preparing for what is always unknown. And that in itself is enough for someone to say, I ain't doing it. I only want to go where I know I'm going to grow. The laying out of a new day, preparing for what will always be the unknown. A lot of energy is required in the birth of a brand new day. You know, Google Calendar can only take you so far. The dots on the map don't always match. And that's when we go, no, I need a Red Bull. I need a Monster. I need coffee. I need something. I need a Vice, because nothing's matching here. And ultimately, the bridge has got to be crossed. But how far is your nearest answer? I mean, seriously, there is nothing magical in the requirement. Showing up is always going to be the first step. The activation is going to require steps number 2, 3, 4, and 5. But in what order does the payoff begin? How many days or years is it going to require to face the results of the total experience? A series of days and dates? One leading into another? The value of being aware? What has to take place here? To not always accept, but to at least think about it? To be in a moment where the next step could actually be the cliff. But is it a leap of faith? When do you know? There are never any true signs or sounds when what you're doing is trying. Boy, that just took me back into my years of martial arts. Becoming a 3rd-degree black belt in martial arts. You never heard me say, I'm going to try to become a 3rd Dan. Never. When I went into those tournaments, realizing it's not if you get hurt, but when you get hurt, I didn't try to win those matches. I won or I lost those matches. Let me read that last sentence again. And I know for a fact inside your mind, body, and soul, if you could just switch up a thought, a word, your days of victory will come. They'll arrive. There are never any true signs or sounds when all you've ever done is try. my Sabanim, Master Todd Harris, he would sit there in class and he would say, I want you to try to do a front kick. Try it. I want you to try. And you would sit there and you'd throw that leg out there. And he said, you're not listening to me. I want you to try to do a front kick. You'd get into that stance and boom, you'd kick again. No. Why won't you listen to me? I want you to try to do a front kick. You'd get back in that position. Man, your energy was building up. Your key up was ready to go. Wham! And you kicked. And he said, okay, here's the lesson today, ladies and gentlemen. When you say, I'm trying, or I'm going to try to do this, that's all you're doing, is you're trying. But when you sit there and you give me a kick, you did. You did. You didn't try to kick, you did kick. So when you're sitting there explaining to people, well, you know, in the next couple of months, I'm going to try to make this happen. That you're going to try, that means you're probably not going to. Somewhere along the line, you're going to drop the ball. You're going to make this happen. Put your mindset in the place of winning is always a choice. And when you say, I try, you've made the choice. You're probably not going to do it. Just do it. I'm Arrow, and that's what I was writing while the sun was waking up on a brilliant new day.